Hey guys, welcome back to Cobbill Farms. It's snowing here in upstate New York. No shocker there. It is the end of November after all. In today's video, we're going to work on the pig pasture. I want to get fence posts in the ground. I want to get fence ran. And I'm hoping by the end of this video that we're going to have about 95% of the whole job complete. Maybe the whole thing. We'll have to wait and see how the day goes. All right, so the first order of business is that T-post right there is going to stay, but eventually it does have to come out, and instead of being tipped this way, I want to tip it that way. But we're going to run another T-post and put a T-post down here somewhere in this area because that's where the corner is going to be. Then eventually it's going to run back down that way. So let's get this T-post set first, and then we'll go from there. All right, I think somewhere right about here looks pretty good. Let's see how many rocks I hit. All right, 18 inches, 20 inches, close enough. It's in the ground far enough. Close enough. All right, we might need the tractor for this job, but let's see how strong I'm feeling today. Oh, look at that. I guess I ate my Wheaties this morning. Might as well put my insulators back on. Alright, am I going to get so lucky with this post? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Oh yeah. Look at that. Alright, I got to pull out this grounding rod. The one over here, I was able to get out by hand. But this one don't want to come out so easy. So, I need the tractor. And I enlisted some help. That didn't work too awful bad. All right, so we got all our corner posts set. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna park the tractor, I think, up over here, and we're gonna stretch wire from here all the way down and around back over to where it's gonna meet the existing fence line over there, because over here should be some existing fence line. That's where we took the ratchet tensioners out, so there should be some fence line right over here. So that's where we're gonna end up tying to. Alright, this should be as far as I have to go for now. It's probably going to be way too far, but it's alright. Alright, now I gotta find the end of this fence line. Right here. And the other end is right here. We'll bring it back this way. I'm using these lockjaw insulators. I've had good luck with them. I do like using them here on corners because they go quite a ways around the post, so you don't have to really worry about these metal T-posts. You don't have to worry about them arcing across. Every once in a while I'll get a slug or something that likes to hang out on them, and that's the only time I'll get them to actually arc. Otherwise, they're pretty reliable. So I'm going to splice the two pieces of wire together right here. It was ending up where the old wire was going to be down at the corner, and I don't want it to terminate down at the corner. So we're going to do it right out here, kind of in the middle of this stretch. May not be pretty, but I think it'll do the trick. Alright, I'm going to install my ratchet tensioner for the bottom wire. Alright, now I need to peel off enough wire to get back to my ratchet tensioner. That ought to be enough. I get my pliers to cooperate. I always like to give myself plenty of extra wire on these spools because you never know when you might need it. So a little extra never hurt anybody. Let's take a walk along the fence line and see how it looks at each corner. Looks all right right there. Looks all right there. Looks all right over here. All right, let's peel the wire off of the top wire of the fence. All right, I got the top wire all ran and tight just like I did the bottom one. I didn't really think I had to go through and show you that all over again. Now we're going to look into setting up some of our inline posts. Well, let's see how this goes in the ground. Straight. Nope. I don't have enough T-posts to go all the way around for the spacings I want. So I'm trying to space them out in such a way that I can just go back and add a post in between the existing ones at some point. I just mostly want to get the wire off the ground. Alright, I got all the T-posts in, as far as the ones I have anyways. I made it down this whole stretch here and a couple up there. I gotta put posts in all the way around the rest of it. Those white posts, as I've said before, those are all gonna go, and we're gonna get T-posts to put, metal T-posts to put in their place. All these T-posts that I'm using are 6-foot T-posts cut in half, so that leaves me with about 3 feet of post, leaving about 20 inches sticking out of the ground. I found that worked pretty well with what I had existing already, so if it works, I might as well just duplicate it. The only thing I have left that I really want to get done today is I want to straighten out these grounding rods, and I want to get those put in their new home in this area right here. The power for the fencer comes from the barn right there where the doors open, and before it used to, just in a long extension cord, it'd lay across the ground, across the driveway, and go over to where it was before over here in the corner. Now it's going to be a shorter run, come right out of the barn, come right across the driveway here, right to this area here. I went in the house, had some lunch, and while I was in the house, it quit snowing, and most of the snow that is on the ground is melted already. It's 37 degrees right now. That's what it was when I came back outside, and the ground's still fairly warm. So I mean, the only time it really sticks seems to be when it's actively snowing. Otherwise, it's not hanging around long. Well, I need to figure out how I'm going to straighten these brass rods out. That ain't gonna work. I have an idea. Let's see if this will work. Not bad. Alright. I think somewhere right around in here is a good place to start. Yeah. Everything I found says these grounding rods ought to be about 3 feet apart. And by rights, they say 3 of them work well, but I've only ever used 2, and I've never had a problem with it. So if it works, we're gonna continue to do it the way we've been doing it. There, I think that's good. Good enough. Whew. I think this building is gonna have to get pushed that way, away from this fence line. But that's something I think we could tackle in the spring, because I'm still contemplating some ideas. Normally what we do when we get piglets in the spring is I'll put a hog panel across the front of this structure to keep the pigs confined to the building for roughly a week, just to let them get used to their new environment here on our farm, the outside, and whatever else. Just let them settle down a little bit. And then after about a week, I'll take that hog panel down and they'll slowly venture out and start to roam the property, and eventually they'll introduce themselves to the fence line, and usually that's about all it takes. Last year was a little bit different. I think we had 2 or 3 get out. They didn't go far. They went out and then they ended up coming right back. So I'm thinking about doing things a little bit different this upcoming year. I want to get the building put in one spot, and then I want to put a series of hog panels up out so they have a little bit more room to venture out than just being confined to this small area, even though, you know, they're only 30-40 pounds when they come here. But what I can do is put electric fence wire on the inside of those hog panels and tie it to this fence line, temporary, and then that would give them a chance to see the wire, touch the wire, get zapped by the wire, and know that they don't ever want to touch it again. Let's go see what the porkers are up to. What? What are we doing? Other than making a great big giant hole. They certainly have become a lot more friendly over the last few weeks. I try to come in here, I don't know, every other day and just try to socialize with them a little bit and just be in with them and let them get used to me. And as you can see, they become quite friendly. You like your back getting rubbed? Don't chew on my jacket. How about behind the ears? You like that? Don't chew on me. I don't taste good. Not near as good as you do. Don't chew on my boot. Well, I think that's going to be it for working on the pig pasture today. I got to get some more T-posts, and we'll get them put in at some point here, probably in the next week or so. The next 7 to 10 days is supposed to be at least in the mid to upper 30s, so we don't have to worry about any ground freeze or anything like that. So I'm glad to have that project mostly done. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like our channel, as always, we ask you to subscribe. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.